Bro. In the heart of the Troll Kingdom's capital city, Dave and Karkat are sitting on their couch with 1.5 feet space between them. It's a typically picturesque day outside, but Karkat has the curtains drawn shut all the way. This is part of their compromised living situation. Dave puts up with the trollish non-Euclidean architecture, bizarre social mores, and Karkat has adjusted his diurnal schedule to, in theory, see the sun. Bro, you have to check this out. Karkat is leaning forward, munching on chocolate-coated beetles, and totally absorbed in what he's watching. The glow from the television highlights the dark bags under his eyes. Dave reaches out and very gently pokes Karkat in the cheek. Karkat flinches out of his full-body slouch.
Not now, Dave. Jake's ass is on TV again.
Stop ogling Jake's ass. This is important.
Who the fuck are you to tell me whose ass I should stop ogling? Look, it's absolutely hypnotic. I mean, not in a sexual way, per se.
Of course. Dave casts a weary look towards the TV, where Jake English is shamelessly exhibiting what is definitely his best feature in front of a live studio audience. This is a regular highlight of his and Dirk's hit television show, Rumble into Pumpkin Patch. A schizophrenic cross-section of a rap battle and robot wrestling that Rose once described as a exploitative, almost Dada-esque clusterfuck of circumlocutory pretension and sweaty homoerotic estriction. Jake came up with the title for the show, and Dirk absolutely loathed it. However, before Dirk could insist on an alternative, Jake had already posted an online poll pitting his idea against whatever Dirk's lame idea is. Needless to say, the second opinion was much less popular. Karkat gestures at the televised spectacle, a bit helplessly.
It's all in the way it's being programmed by the station. It took me a while to notice, because it's not like I make it a point of staying glued to this phony televised human gladiator garbage. It's soft as fuck. They barely even try to make it seem real. Dave, I consider myself a cosmopolitan individual, a man of learning, but as a naive Alternian, I'm actually fucking offended by this insulting display of namby-pamby pageantry. Anyway, the more I watch, I can't help but notice the camera's lecherous fixation on this boy's voluptuous posterior. I can't say I blame them, I guess. At least it shows they know exactly what's paying the fucking bills, because it sure as hell isn't the quality of the slam poetry.
Okay, who gives a shit about that? Although it pleases me to hear you're taking note of the economics of this broadcast, since it is apropos to the topic at hand, but more on that later.
Apropos to fucking what? I don't have time to scope the latest meme, Dave. You are coming perilously close to cutting into my important leisure time as it is.
Leisure time? This is all you ever do all day. Also, it's not a meme, it's much more important.
Oh, excuse me, hotshot, but what possibly could be more important than the latest meme? That was a joke, FYI. Now leave.
Jane is running for president.
What the fuck?
Dave scoots 1.5 feet closer so they can both read the news on his phone. Karkat tips his head to the side to get a better view, until it bumps against Dave's shoulder. Got the announcement right here.
You mean President of Earth?
Yeah.
Why the fuck would she want to do that?
I don't know. Crocker is just an ambitious woman, I guess.
It sounds fucking awful.
Oh, it is. It absolutely is. Also, don't tell her I said this, but I think she's basically a fascist.
Why would I tell her you said that? When the fuck was the last time either of us had fuck all to do with Jane?
No, I know. Just a figure of speech, I guess. Oh, also she's a fucking xenophobe.
Of course she's a xenophobe.
Karkat, without drastically altering his position on the couch, turns his head so that he can look Dave straight into the sunglasses.
Dave, I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of humans are?
Yeah, I've noticed.
Also, what the fuck does she even mean she's running? What a complete load of shit. She's a god. Which one of these toadying idiots on this planet would dare to run against her? She's going to win in a landslide, assuming she doesn't just waltz into office uncontested.
Yeah, I don't disagree, which is why we have to stop her.
Huh? Dave, what exactly are you saying? Are you telling me you're going to run against Jane?
Karkat's laughter is uproarious, incredulous. He reaches for another beetle as his guffaws subside and eats it in a manner he hopes will convey his casual contempt for Dave's insinuation.
Are you out of your fucking mind? Do you have any idea how rich she is?
Dude, we're all rich. We, invented the fucking economy.
Well, yeah. But not Crocker rich.
Anyway, no, I'm not running, you are. Karkat stops chewing his beetle and does a literal spit take right into Dave's face.
Me?
Yeah, man, it's perfect. You're the ideal opponent to take her down, and TBH, just what this planet needs.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
We established this how many years ago? I'm not a leader. I was never meant to be one. Jane probably is, although, to be fair, I'm agreeing with you. She's a complete asshole. I'm just not the one to run an effective opposition campaign. Where? How? I wouldn't even know where to start.
Obviously, you wouldn't do it on your own. I would help. I'd be like your campaign manager or chief strategy guy or whatever. Also, you're wrong. You were meant to be a leader, and you'd be a good one. Just not the kind of leader you always thought you'd be. Not a bellicose, conquering dickhead who commands fear and respect. Just a guy who's cool and nice and actually cares about stuff, and everyone loves them for that reason.
People don't love me.
You're breaking my heart, dude. BRB, gonna hit the toilet for a quick power sob.
Shut the fuck up.
It still amazes me how little awareness you genuinely seem to have of how insanely popular you are on this planet. It's fucking adorable.
You're wrong. All I see is Jake on TV and Jane in the news stories about her stupid business and Dirk doing whatever fucked up shit he's doing with his celebrity presence. I see your mug a lot too, Mr. fucking political puppet master. You get more votes than me and you know it. You're probably just a coward.
You only see famous humans on TV because you just avoid all Troll Kingdom channels deliberately. You hate it whenever you see yourself on TV. Don't pretend I don't notice you change the channel as fast as possible whenever you see yourself.
Yeah, well, maybe I...
Karkat hesitates, then slouches back into the couch cushions, restoring the customary 1.5 foot space he and Dave usually keep between them, except when watching horror movies, eating chips, or talking about the top 600 stupid things Karkat saw earlier that day, because he made his intrepid annual decision to go outside.
Maybe I don't actually like being famous. And maybe that's as good a fucking reason as any not to run for the fucking presidency of Earth. Not to mention, the idea of an election is kind of a fucked up and weird thing to me culturally anyway, and I'm still kind of getting used to the idea that people can just choose their leaders and not have the same old merciless bitch in power for several million years.
Well, what better way to acquaint yourself with democracy than take a crack at high office yourself? Dude, seriously, you would absolutely kill it with the troll voting bloc. The entire kingdom would vote for you. They'd go ballistic if they heard a troll actually had the guts to run against Jane, let alone one of their heroes. And frankly, just between you and me, Jane is... how do I put this?
What?
Okay, I'll just be the one to come out and say it. She's gonna be a fucking disaster for the economy. I guess I have to admit, part of this, for me personally, it's...
What are you saying, Dave?
It's about Obama. Very slowly, Karkat raises his right palm and forcefully unites it with his own face. He barely even got a chance to prove himself. He was sworn into office and it was cool and everything was going to be great, but then everyone died a few months later because of meteors. Dude was just getting warmed up. It's so sad. I wonder if he would have fixed the economy. I bet he would have fixed the economy.
Dave, as much as I enjoy listening to you ramble through yet another chapter of your freestyle Obama fanfiction, don't you already have a basis for knowing how his presidency would have gone? I mean, wasn't he president in the timeline Jane grew up in too?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, of course, I know that. I just don't like to think much about that timeline. Doesn't really feel like it's canon.
Didn't some clowns take over the world or something?
I don't want to talk about it. The point is, in the world that mattered more, I mean, like, the one I belonged to that I used to imagine had a real future that didn't involve meteors or a fish dictator or the American political landscape turning into a nightmarish daily joke, I still wonder what could have been. If the old man could have saved us all, but instead he died, probably. Or maybe not. Maybe there was like an escape hatch in the White House that led to his own secret presidential session of Spurb. What if he's just chilling there now?
Dave, I think we've covered your Obama's secret session of Spurb theory well enough already.
I know. I'm just saying is all.
It's a beautiful dream. I fucking get it.
But yeah, it's more likely he just died. But maybe it doesn't have to be in vain. What if he died for our sins or something?
Sounds fucking meaningless.
Yeah, but I mean, what if, like, he could be reborn?
Yes, we've been over your Obama god-tier headcanons too.
No, like, reborn as you, metaphorically. You could be the great president he never got the chance to be. You could give the people hope and shit. You could inspire trolls everywhere, or really all non-human kingdoms. Show them anybody could be a president, not just an endless parade of rich humans who think they all know what's best for everybody.
Dave, I'm pretty sure anyone could be president. It's always seemed to me that humans just seem to be more naturally ambitious, and that's why the power structures took the shape they did in the last few millennia. I mean, I don't claim to be an expert on xenopsychology, but for some reason I struggle to imagine a fucking salamander getting the gumption to throw his crumpled hat into the ring for the presidency of Earth. Or the Carapacians, for that matter. These are not ambitious creatures we're talking about here, Dave. They're a huge flock of woolbeasts, Dave.
Karkat, don't stereotype. Remember the mayor. Remember how at one point a long time ago he raised an army and rebelled against an evil king.
Oh yeah. Somehow I always forget he did that. Kind of mind-boggling, really. Holy shit, I miss the mayor.
Me too. Dave and Karkat both observe a moment of silence. A delicate and trembling pause of utmost respect to perhaps the greatest and purest being who had ever come forth from Paradox space. Dave pats Karkat's knee comfortingly, and Karkat lets out a quivering breath of sorrow of remembrance. Into this reverent silence, Dave says, I think he would be totally in favor of my idea, by the way. He loved democracy.
No shit, he was a fucking mayor.
I mean, forget all the lizards and chess guys for a second, just imagine the good you could do for the Troll Kingdom. You would do a much better job of speaking to the injustices trolls face than Jane would.
What injustices?
Dude, please, where to even begin? I know Earthsea has generally been a pretty chill place to live, but there's been some shit going on that is legit creepy. All this population regulation bullshit that's been going on since we basically set up civilization and pieced out to the future. When you think about its long-term consequences, it's been fucking weird. Like the government being responsible for troll reproduction through cloning, a government that just happens to be predominantly human most of the time. Like, it makes sense on paper at first. No mother grub, gotta keep the race going and expand the population for a good while and get the numbers up. Till Kanaya gets here and hatches the grub, then I guess a system of natural reproduction can take over in theory, but after so many centuries of that shit, doesn't that weird political imbalance, like, get entrenched? There's a measure of real concern and passion working its way into Dave's voice. Karkat, despite his typical front of loud indignation, hangs on every word. And once Rose and Kanaya crank out a few more broods in the caverns, I guess we're supposed to think it's all fixed, right? Back to trolls as usual or something, but do you really think the human kingdom is going to just sit back and let troll race proliferate wildly all over Earth? Turn it into another Alternian empire? Folks know the history. They know about the condens and all the violence and the hemospectrum and shit. They're scared to death of the possibility that trolls could run wild all over the planet.
Dave, I know all this. In fact, you know all this because you've heard me say it to Kanaya 1,000 times. Actually, in an effort to not go fucking insane, I try not to think about it anymore.
Well, maybe it's time to start thinking about it again. Bro, did you know sitting on the sidelines in the face of oppression is tantamount to siding with the oppressors?
Ugh.
You think a Crocker administration is really going through with plans to deregulate troll breeding? She knows exactly what her base wants. I can already see the dog whistles in this press release. She isn't going to do shit. And really, man, if nothing else, and I truly mean nothing, please, for the love of Christ, think of the economy. The outburst is all Karkat can do to release whatever tension Dave's impassioned appeal was causing to brew inside him. Motherfucker literally just told him to think of the economy. Jane has this reputation for being awesome at business, but IMO, she actually just sucks. She doesn't seem to be even remotely aware of how she's leveraged her status as a god to become a big shot trillionaire. I think she thinks it's all pure business acumen, but I think she doesn't really know what she's doing. Fuckers left and right just be tripping all day long to give her money hand over fist. Of course she's gonna milk her biz cred for all that it's worth in this election. She's probably a much better politician than a businesswoman. Actually, she's like sinister as fuck. I mean, she hides it well, don't get me wrong. Also, she isn't too hard on the eyes, which won't hurt her chances one bit, but she's going to be brutal on their pocketbooks. Just you wait.
I don't fucking believe this.
She doesn't know the nuances of sound, comprehensive fiscal policy like I do. My skills are fucking legendary. I manipulated the stock market to assume control of the literal majority of all currency on the planet once. Granted, the economy was run by lobotomized reptiles, but still... Wait, that was specious. Sorry. The point stands, though. I know what I'm doing. What do you think is going to happen when Jane takes over and the economy crashes?
I don't know.
It's going to be pandemonium.
Will it actually be, though?
Well, I don't know. Okay, if shit goes sideways, I guess we aren't gonna see, like, raggedy turtles and pauper chessmen standing in bread lines or anything. That's just the nature of alchemy-based post-scarcity economies, that depressions tend to be pretty mild, but it will still be bad. A healthy economy is fucking important, if for no other reason than it protects the societal context for what it means to be fucking rich like us.
Just a thought? Let's come up with a different campaign slogan than that, okay?
Yeah, but the point is just, I guess, she sucks and shouldn't be present at the end. You don't even have to think about economic shit, or I can do that for you. I'll be like the Treasury Secretary or something. Just please tell me you'll do this. Do it for the trolls, do it for the economy, do it for the mayor, but most of all... Dave wipes an invisible tear from beneath the rim of his sunglasses. Do it for Obama.
God damn it, Dave. I don't really give a fuck about politics or being a leader anymore, and I think you know that. I don't care about the economy, and while I'm sure this Obama fellow was a hell of a guy, I couldn't give less of a fuck about him either. But I do care about you.
Dave smiles.
So, I'll do it. Why not?
Nice. Oh, yeah. You won't regret it. This is gonna be dope. I think we have a great shot, too. With the political savvy and economic genius and outrageous flair for subversive anti-establishment messaging and propaganda, and your big, loud fucking mouth.
What the fuck?
I guess also your charisma and likability and shit.
Yeah, you might be right. I'm pretty sure I can fake those things well enough.
Oh, also, your weirdly sincere humility.
I prefer the term self-loathing, actually.
Okay, let's try to avoid that phrase on the campaign trail, too.
This already sounds like a pain in the ass.
There's a gap of silence in the conversation, long enough for the audio from the television to become noticeable. Jake is rambling out a truly dire piece of slam poetry that involves, with zero hint of irony, the terms batty fang and mad as hops. The neon light blaring out from the screen casts long waves of color along the black walls of the hive and bounces off the glass of the framed print of Dave's least psychologically revealing spaz strip. Karkat sighs and rubs the space between his horns.
Can't I just read a bunch of bullshit you write for me off a teleprompter?
Yeah, there'll definitely be plenty of that. Dave grabs his tablet off the shelf. He pivots back round and points the pin straight at Karkat. The arc of his arm's motion is polished and decisive, even though it's been a long time since he's properly used a sword.
But you also need to be natural and speak from the heart and shit. Just like, talk to your people about stuff they care about.
My people. You mean trolls?
Oh, yeah, I guess that sounded bad. Sorry. But yeah, exactly, trolls. That's gonna be your base, so you gotta rile them up. Inspire them. I don't think you'll need any fancy speeches to do that. You'll be a natural.
You say so. So what do we actually do? I mean, next?
Dave plops down on the floor and gestures for Karkat to join him on the cold stone. He swipes the tablet on and taps the screen with the pin. Karkat lies down on his stomach and props his chin on his palm so that he can watch Dave scribble political ambitions directly into the shittiest paint program on his OS.
Time to talk some strategy. We need to rally as much high-profile support to our cause as we can, but there are some lines of loyalty to figure out.
What?
I mean, which of our friends are going to side with us, and which ones will side with Jane? Pretty much all of us are famous and popular all over Earth to some degree. Some of us more so with certain kingdoms than others. So, some key endorsements going either way could swing the whole election.
Oh, great. So it all comes down to how many famous humans like me better than Jane? We're fucked.
Well, no, not so fast. Let's think it through. You'll have overwhelming support in the Troll Kingdom, and so does Kanaya. She's pretty much a lock to be on your side. Dirk, unfortunately, is just as much of a lock for Jane, I'm gonna guess. But after that, it's kind of a free-for-all. Roxy and Calliope will probably be neutral. They have a lot of pull with the Carpathians, though, so that would be a nice score to sway them. Rose will probably claim neutrality at first, but I'm betting she could be cajoled by her wife to our side. Once we get Rose converting Roxy, probably wouldn't be too hard. As for Jade...
They stare at each other. Karkat sighs, and Dave raps his pen against the tablet screen in a slow, uneven staccato.
I think it's fair to say she's going to be on our side.
Yeah.
Maybe a little too much so.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna be the one to say it, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Of course we want her help and her endorsement will go a long way, but I think we gotta sort out, like, a hierarchical approach to campaign strategy. Keep it organized and disciplined with roles well defined. Not let things get too murky with, personal shit.
I think we're on the same page here, Dave.
Okay, cool. Anyway, let's come back to the Jade issue later. Let's see who else.
Egbert?
Right. John should be easy to convince, but I'm not too sure how much of a factor he'll be in this campaign. Have no idea how long he'll be away on this mission Rose mentioned.
What? What mission?
Dunno. She's been hella cagey about it. Swore me to secrecy until the right time, whenever that is. Anyway, this endorsement would go a long way in swinging the Consort Kingdom.
That would be huge. Aren't there like 100 billion of those fuckers? Securing that voting block should be able to win the whole thing for us.
Well, no, the population isn't that big, but yes, it's by far the most populous kingdom. Swinging them our way should help a lot, but it won't be enough to decide the whole thing. Consorts overwhelm the other kingdoms in sheer numbers, but due to unscrupulous gerrymandering, all kinds of fucked up voter suppression policies, and some electoral counterbalancing measures to account for their ridiculous population growth rate, their voting power per capita is kind of pathetic. Also, it's hard to drive turnout. This may come as a shock, but legions of easily distracted low-information amphibians primarily concerned with eating bugs and farming goddamned mushrooms aren't the most politically motivated demographic. So to get them out to the polls, we'll need to get them really excited.
Okay. I guess I'll have to trust your expertise on that, since I don't know the first fucking thing about how to inspire an unintelligent lizard.
Yeah, well, I don't either. But that brings us to Jake.
Jake's butt flexes on the television as if in response. Karkat cannot avoid watching it from the corner of his eye.
Oh, fuck.
No, this is important. Jake is a huge wild card here. I'm sure his endorsement would be completely up for grabs. He could go any way, including just getting turned off by the whole thing and staying apolitical. So we have to be careful about how we approach him. Jake is the only one of us who's wildly popular in all 4 kingdoms.
Well, I can't argue with that.
Yeah, so an endorsement from him would be huge. Seriously, just running one ad of him doing his double pistols winking bullshit with the thing under it saying "Vote Karkat" might be enough to win the whole election. Just have to get the fickle bastard to agree to that, which could be tricky. And honestly, I'd be shocked if Jane hasn't already started courting his vote. There's no way she doesn't understand the political stakes.
So, it all comes down to the Jake stakes then.
Pretty much, the Jake Stakes 2.0.
What? There was a 1.0? When did that happen?
That's like a whole story.
Is this gonna be another anecdote about the Jake squad I don't care about and don't want to fucking hear?
That sounds like the exact kind of opinion you'd have about it, so yeah.
Then I don't want to fucking hear about it.
Okay. Shit, hold up.
What?
Dave fishes his phone out from his lap.
Dirk's calling me.
What the fuck does he want?
I don't know, he just calls me out of the blue from time to talk shit. Usually about nothing whatsoever. He'll probably joke about how he needs me to cut off his head.
Huh?
It's a running gag he's been running into the ground for years. Motherfucker is dedicated to his memes, I'll give him that.
You said he's gonna be a Crocker loyalist, right?
Oh, absolutely, no doubt about it.
You don't think he's trying to do some reconnaissance work here? Like intel gathering?
He doesn't even know you're entering the race yet. No one does.
Okay, good. Guess you'd better answer then.
Okay, well, I missed the call while we were bullshitting about it, but yeah, I'll just call him back now.
Dave hits the callback button. On the television, Dirk's phone begins ringing.
What's up?
Hey, dude.
Dave hears the reply through his phone and then a moment later through the TV, due to the broadcasting delay. The whole show is stopped so that Dirk can take this call. The camera zooms in on where he's casually lying on the mat, bruised and a little bit bloody. In the background, Jake strikes an attractive, cock-hipped pose. He's spinning a revolver around on one finger, affecting an aura of attractive indifference, but the look he's shooting his sparring partner is caught halfway between confused and exasperated. Karkat looks from Dave to the TV and back again.
Got your sword handy?
Always.
Good. See, I'm in sort of a bind here, and I'm afraid there's only one way out.
Okay, I'm fucking leaving.